Learning how to draw a train can include a lesson about perspective too, namely that things in the foreground of a drawing, like bushes, will always look larger than things in the background. Follow along with me and I'll show you how easy it is to draw this train. Hi, my name's Kathy and I've been teaching kids how to draw for over 20 years now. You know, my favorite thing to do is to show students that when you take things one step at a time, learning how to draw just might be easier than you think. Here are the supplies we need to make this drawing: just a pencil, black marker, paper, and some crayons. You can also find a link to a step-by-step tutorial in the description below. I like to draw with center pencil guidelines on my paper, but you could also just fold and crease your paper in half in both directions too to make some lines to follow. Step number 1. Let's start with the two train car shapes that are in the middle of the paper. Draw a rectangle that is wider than it is tall. Work slowly so that you can make those lines as straight as you can. And when that first rectangle is done, then draw another one to the right of it, and this one can be going off the page. Step number 2. The front of the train may be added now. There's little space between the cars, but the shape should match the others and be the same height. It just needs to have a rounded nose on the left. Step number 3. Now we're ready for the doors that go on the right two cars. They're rectangles too, and they have a line in the middle to show where they open up. Step number 4. Well, it's time to add a long row of windows to our train. I'm going to start on the left and gradually work towards the right side, trying to make them match each other as best I can. They're really just rectangles with very rounded corners. And don't worry if yours are not perfect. Mine are a little wobbly here, but that's okay. Sometimes the little wobbles are what make a drawing so charming. Step number 5. This is easy, just adding a curve for the nose and then a line right through the middle of all those cars. It makes for a good coloring guide if you want your train to be two colors later on. Step number 6. Here's another easy one, adding a track below the train. Start on one side of the paper and draw a long horizontal line, and then do that again just below the first. Afterwards, add a few little lines to show that it's made up of little sections. Step number 7. Now for some small wheels under the train cars. I'm going to add 2 half circles under each car, and they each will have a smaller half circle inside. Step number 8. Let's start to fill in the area in front of the train now with some large bush shapes. They can just be some simple scalloped lines. I'm going to put one bush in the left corner and one in the right. Then we also need a horizon line. Mine is going to be just a little wavy to look like hills and be about halfway up between the train and the top of the paper. Now a few small trees will add some more perspective to our drawing. Pine trees are always an easy shape to draw, and really little trees could just be a tall triangle with a trunk underneath. I'm going to do a few of each. Feel free to add as many of these trees as you want. Just remember, if any of them go over that horizon line, you need to erase that line inside the tree. Finally, a few clouds in the sky and a sun will really brighten things up too. I like to draw my clouds like this with bottoms that are flat. I think it makes them look a little more realistic. Step number 9. Alright, I see this drawing is done, so it's time to get out that black marker and start tracing over all of those pencil lines. And you may already know that now is when I recommend erasing any pencil lines that are still showing. And now we can bring out those crayons. I'm going to begin by coloring the bottom half of my train a bright red. The train track and the wheels under the train are going to be a light gray. Oh, you know what? I just caught a small detail that I missed. We need some lines to show that these train cars are attached to each other. I like this light yellow-green color for the foreground. And I'm going to use it for that background grass too, but if you had another green color, it might be fun to switch them. Then a nice dark green for all of those pine trees and the bushes as well. Some blue for the sky. And a touch of yellow for that sun. If you do want to add those blue reflection lines in the train windows, just use that blue crayon to make a couple of zigzag lines in each. It's totally optional though. It might be fun to also draw people's faces in there too. At Art Projects for Kids, you'll find many more transportation drawing lessons, including how to draw a car and how to draw a pickup. Over the years, my website has helped millions of kids learn how to draw. Thank you for joining me today, and if you're watching this on YouTube, always remember to like and subscribe to my channel so you get notified as soon as I post a new video.